What's up? This is Alex Chu coming at you with another episode. This episode, I want to talk about, how modern United States situation is very similar to the Chinese Cultural Revolution. Okay, I'm talking about the crime, the downfall of economy and everything. It's just like back in the days, the Chinese Cultural Revolution. But before I talk about that, I want to tell you, my name's Alex Chu. I'm the guy who invented physical mortality rings. These are rings that you put on your small fingers during sleep. You wear them, you don't age anymore. You become physically immortal. For example, I'm already 52. In 1 month and a half, I'll be 53. See, I'm still pretty skinny, right? I don't have any belly fat. See that? If you go to my website, livemuchlonger.com, I have lots of testimonials. Most of them give me 4-star, 5-star. Oh, I'm sorry. So if you're interested, you want to look like me when you're like almost 53, livemuchlonger.com, livemuchlonger.com. Link is at the bottom of this video. Anyway, today, I want to talk about how modern American situation. I'm talking about the crime, the inflation, and then all sorts of troubles that we're experiencing. Very, very similar to Chinese Cultural Revolution, okay? And I think the solution is we need a dictator. We need to change the government. We need to get rid of democracy. Anyway, I made a clip today. Watch it. Well, America under this woke democratic government is collapsing, and it's collapsing fast, Especially if you come to California, you look at San Francisco, Oakland, oh my God, crime is everywhere, a lot of stores are in Oakland, especially in Oakland, a lot of stores are closing. Not because of nobody is going to the offices anymore, okay? It's because of crime. It's like nobody dares to shop anymore. Nobody dares to go to the restaurant anymore. Because if you eat at a restaurant in Oakland, right? You park your car and you walk into the restaurant, you come out, your window's broken. Can you imagine that? It's like the crime is so rampant, And a lot of, the rent moratorium, right? A lot of people are not paying rent for like 3 years because of COVID, right? So a lot of mom and pop landlords, they are under foreclosure now because tenants don't pay rent. I find that this situation that we have right now in the United States is very similar to the Chinese Cultural Revolution. Back in a Cultural Revolution started in 1966, right? Ended around 1974, 1975, when Mao Zedong finally died, What happened in the Chinese Cultural Revolution, okay, is when Chinese communists took over in 1949, right? They went to all the owners, store owners, restaurants, shop owners, factory owners, okay? They went to these people and say, for example, you're a restaurant owner, right? The Chinese communist would come to you and say, hey, Mr. Wang, I really like your restaurant, but from now on, you have to treat your employees right. You have to give them enough money. You got to feed them enough food. You got to give them a place to live. You got to do this. You got to do that. For example, like, hey, your dishwashers, your waiters, they all deserve $20 minimum wage. And you also have to take care of their, if they're sick, you have to, provide money for them to, see a doctor. You got to make sure they have enough clothes to wear, enough food to eat, enough a place to live and everything. And restaurant owner would say, you know what, I cannot afford it. My restaurant business is not even that good. Right now everybody is poor. You're telling me to treat my employees like kings, I cannot afford it. So a lot of restaurant owners just say, you know what, fuck this, I'm walking away, and they close up their restaurants. And that's what happened in Chinese Cultural Revolution, And then the communists would say, wow, a lot of these stores and restaurants are closing. So, okay, we have a good idea. Why don't if you close your restaurants, we set up the restaurant ourselves, right? The government will open up restaurants for the people. Okay, and then everything is government managed, right? There's a manager. He's like he's a communist official, right? And then all the workers are, they're half of the workers are like communist officials and shit, and they run the restaurant. But the problem is the food doesn't taste very good. You know why? Because nobody cares. The manager is hired by the government, right? He's a communist official. He doesn't give a shit if customers don't like his food because this restaurant is not his. The restaurant does not belong to him. He's just a government employee, right? So nobody cares about the quality of the food. Nobody gives a shit about customer service, right? So you could imagine restaurants are like that. You could imagine the factories, stores, they're all like that, All the store owners and factory owners, they walk away. The reason is because the communists are asking for the impossible. Hey, go to the factory, say, hey, from now on, you got to pay your factory owner enough money. You got to pay them minimum wage, $20, $25, whatever. And the factory owners say, you know what? I'm sorry, I can't handle it. I'm just going to give up my factory. Go ahead. Confiscate the factory. Go ahead, it's yours. You run it. And then the factory owners just walk away, And then, just like the restaurant, everything goes downhill, right? Because now the factory is run by the Communist Party. And nobody gives a shit about the quality of the products because there is no real factory owner. Whoever runs the factory is basically just an employee hired by the communist. So nobody gives a shit about the quality. Everything goes downhill. And right now, why am I saying this? Because right now, United States, the same thing. Talking about minimum wage. Every state, minimum wage is rising. In San Francisco, it's $18.06. Right? You got to pay the employees correctly. You got to pay your employees well so they can survive. But the problem is, a lot of restaurant owners say, you know what, I cannot handle it, I barely can survive. I can barely pay for my rent. How can I pay the employees this much money? So a lot of restaurant owners, they just walk away. They just say, fuck it, I'm going to shut down my store. So that's the reason why if you go to San Francisco, Oakland, you see so many restaurants are closing. So many shops are closing because the government is asking for the impossible. The government raises the minimum wage every year, once a year, and it's just too much burden on these owners. And these restaurant owners and store owners, they just walk away. They close up shop and walk away. And all the remaining restaurants that are still open right now, the food sucks, man. I swear to God. It's like one little plate. Back in the days, I remember like 10 or 20 years ago, if I go to San Francisco, I order something, right? They give me big plates, okay? Big plates, like whatever, tofu over rice, whatever, big plates for only $5, $4.95, $5, whatever. Nowadays, if I order like a plate of tofu, right, they give me little plates. The plates that's for a piece of cake, for if you want to eat piece of cake, you put that cake on that little plate. They give me a little plate, they put some tofu in there, and they charge me like $13. Fucking ridiculous, man. Right now the food sucks, man. The quantity of the food is reduced a lot. It shrinked a lot, And then the quality of the food also is not that good, And then Cultural Revolution, also they, because they're so woke, back in the days in the Chinese Cultural Revolution, they are so woke, It's like, you have to do everything for the poor. You got to do everything for the poor. Everybody deserves a place to live. So basically, they just like ask landlords, to provide housing for free, They confiscate houses from the landlord, right, and give it to the people, right? And then a lot of landlords, they just they commit suicide because they just can't handle it. Because right, I worked my entire life and I own this property, and now my property is being carved away to these people, these my former tenants. Now they are basically carving away my properties, and a lot of property owners, they just commit suicide. And you look at American society now. It's like we had COVID, right? 3 years of COVID rent eviction moratorium in Oakland, San Francisco. A lot of people didn't pay rent for 3 years, 3 years and a half in Oakland. And a lot of property owners, they just they were physically and mentally abused for 3 years and a half, and a lot of them, they just gave up. Their properties went under foreclosure. And there's nothing they can do about it. They go to the court, and the government is not willing to help them. Right? Tenants don't pay rent. There's nothing they can do. In Chinese Cultural Revolution, back in the days, they say, oh yeah, everybody must be well fed. So they started this cafeteria thing. It's like a public cafeteria. You don't have to cook. You don't have to cook at home anymore. Everyone, hey, all the villagers, gather all the villagers, tell them they don't have to cook anymore. They just come to the cafeteria, come to the village cafeteria and eat. It doesn't matter it's breakfast or lunch or dinner, just come eat at the cafeteria. Everybody eat the same food. Right? Doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're a manager, of a factory. It doesn't matter if you're just a janitor. You eat the same food at the same cafeteria. So everyone is equal, And the result is this, right? Everybody eat. They eat whatever they want. All you can eat. And government is becoming more and more poor by the day, because they eat a lot and they don't work, They eat, they fill up their stomach, and then they become lazy and lazier. Because it doesn't matter how much you work, you still get to eat the same food, right? You still get the same wage. So all these communists, they just become lazier and lazier. And the country is becoming more and more poor by the day. If you look at United States, right? San Francisco, Oakland, it's just so woke, Right now in San Francisco, if you're homeless, they'll pay you for it. You understand? The San Francisco mayor is paying like $600 per person or $700 per person for being on the street. Every month they'll give you a check, right? For being homeless. I'm not joking. And then there's like free food. There's like cafeteria, there's like homeless shelter that provide free food for the homeless. So these people, they're getting free food, free money. Why should they work, right? They just fucking sit around all day and they smoke crack, and they get high on fentanyl, And then in the Chinese Cultural Revolution, it's lawless. Okay, if you hate somebody, right, you can gather up your buddies, right, and then just go and drag that person out and beat him to death, and nobody can do anything. And then it's all in the name of Mao Zedong, They say, yeah, I beat this person up because he was talking shit about Chairman Mao, so I drag him out and beat him up, and then we beat him to death. But there's no proof, right? I beat that guy up, and then tomorrow somebody beat me up, and then everybody claimed that, oh, I am on the side of Mao Zedong, right? I beat you up, you beat me up, I kill you, you kill me. Everybody is on the side of Mao Zedong. It's in the United States. You look at right now, there's crime everywhere. Oakland, San Francisco, New York, crime is rising. And they all say, oh yeah, that's to the landlords, that's to the store owners, landlords, restaurant owners, they're all evil, they're bad people. So we are robbing their store, justice to the people. So we're robbing you. We're robbing the restaurants because you're rich. You got money, so we're robbing you. right? Uh, Property owners, we're taking advantage of you. We're not paying you rent because you're evil. You have too much money. That's the reason why we should steal your money. We should just live in your house and don't pay rent. So I think right now United States is very, very much like Chinese Cultural Revolution. And during the Chinese Cultural Revolution, right, you cannot talk shit about these leftists. If you talk shit about these leftists, if you talk shit about leftist ideology, right, they'll drag you out. They'll beat the shit out of you. They will drag you out and they will torture you in public. And if you look at United States, right, right now we cannot even complain. We cannot even criticize the leftists. If for example, if I say something about immigration, their open immigration policy. If I talk about these people from Mexico, people from Guatemala, and people they might say, hey Alex, you're racist. You're not supposed to talk about these people from South America. You're racist. You understand? It's like nobody can talk shit about the leftists nowadays. Because they will put a cap on you. They'll put a cap on you saying that you're racist. So you could imagine the politicians, right? Nobody dares to touch this subject, right? If you want to get elected, you want to continue on being a politician, you cannot talk shit about open immigration. You cannot talk shit about the leftists. It's like you just cannot talk about any of these things. Or else people will call you out and say, oh, you're racist, Yeah, we want you to step down. You cannot. You should just leave the office. You're racist. We don't want a racist mayor. We don't want a racist judge. So just like the Chinese Cultural Revolution. Back in the days, a lot of economists, right? A lot of college professors, right? They've been criticized. They've been dragged out to the street and tortured, and criticized by their own students because they said something wrong, okay? Because they criticized the left or they said something wrong, they're being they're being publicly tortured and chastised. Back in the days in the Chinese Cultural Revolution, they always come up with stupid ideas that ruins the country. For example, the Grand Steel Mill, right? It's like suddenly they have this strange idea, like, oh, we can produce strong steel just like United States, just like England. We can produce, military grade steel. So everybody just build kilns from clay and from bricks, right? And then go to your house, okay, take out your wok, your pots and pan, your wok, your cooking utensils, your shovels, your I don't know, those farming tools, all your farming tools, all sorts of metal, right? Gather them and then just burn it inside the steel mill that you build out of clay or out of brick, right? And that's how we produce steel. And then at the end, it's like these people, they throw away their pots and pan inside they burn their own pots and pan in the fire. They burn their own farming tool inside the fire, and they produced a whole bunch of junk metal, right? And because they destroy their farming tool, they destroy their own cooking utensils, they destroy their own pots and pan, nobody can farm anymore. Nobody can even cook anymore. And then a lot of people, like 40 or 50 million people, starved to death, It was a famine. It was like famine produced by this stupid idea that people can, produce military-grade steel out of handmade kilns. And this is also very similar to our situation right now. Suddenly Alexandria Ocano Cortez. I forgot what her real name is. AOC, right? Alexandria Ocano Cortez. She suddenly became a flyaway hit, in the Democratic side. And then suddenly she came up with this Green New Deal, Green New Deal, to save energy, to do this and that. And then Biden actually listened to it. And then, okay, let's stop drilling. Don't drill. Let's do solar panel and everything. And what's the result? The result is we have the highest inflation, okay? For over 40 decades, we have the highest inflation, right? Gas used to be $2, and right now it's like close to $5. And then the food prices, right, increase almost 90%. This because of this Green New Deal, right? They stopped drilling, they stopped all the oil pipelines, and it's just that these woke Democrats, they always come up with these stupid ideas, It's like Alexandra O'Connor Cortez. I mean, where the fuck did she come from? I don't even know where this woman came from, It's like, I don't know. Just suddenly appeared in public, and then she caught on fire, and she becomes so popular, and everybody listens to it. But then everything she said is so stupid, She's not an economist, right? She's no expert. She doesn't even know how to fix her own car. What's she talking about Green New Deal? It's like, I don't know. The whole, I don't know, this whole system is just really, really woke, and I don't know when it's the end. But we all know what happened to the end, right? We all know what happened at the end of a Chinese Cultural Revolution. Mao Zedong died, and then Mao Zedong's wife and the Gang of Four, right? Mao Zedong's wife and 3 other people, they're going to run the show, right? But then, luckily, they got arrested, right? Hua Guofeng, the guy who took over Mao's position as chairman, he got those people arrested, right? It's a coup. It's a coup d'etat. He got those people arrested, and then he said, okay, you know what? You leftists, you guys are over. The time for the leftists is over. So Hua Guofeng say, you know what? I'm gonna bring somebody up, who's not a leftist. He's a far right. Deng Xiaoping, right? Deng Xiaoping is far right. We're gonna bring Deng Xiaoping up, and then Deng Xiaoping became the vice chairman. And then Deng Xiaoping eventually saved the country, right? Deng Xiaoping got rid of minimum wage. There's no minimum wage in China right now. He got rid of it. Minimum wage gone. No more minimum wage. No more cafeteria food. Yeah, you eat what you cook. You eat what you cook. You don't eat out of cafeteria anymore. Okay. And then Deng Xiaoping allow private owners to come back. Right. Hey, open up your own restaurants. Open up your own factory. Right. We're capitalists now. We don't do that communist bullshit anymore. We're capitalists. Okay. If you do a good job, you earn a lot of money. Okay. So I think United States, eventually, we're gonna have to bring somebody back from the right wing. I don't think Trump can do the job. I'm saying that United States need a dictator. This country, I think democracy is finished. Democracy doesn't work for the United States. Back in the days, it used to work. My theory is that democracy only works if the country is small, okay? For example, like South Korea or Japan, or, I don't know, the territory of Taiwan, China, right? Territory Taiwan. Taiwan has been running democracy for, more than how many years? Like 80 years or something. And it was pretty successful, It works for a small territory, for a small country. Or it works for a country like Japan. I mean, like everybody is Japanese, right? There's very, very little foreigners in Japan, because Japan has very strict immigration policy, right? There's very, very little foreigners, and they all pretty much think the same. They all share the same culture. Democracy only works for a country like that, okay? But democracy no longer works for the United States. Right now, the United States is too multicultural. See, back in the days when the United States first started, white people were the majority. It's like 90%, 95% white people, right? There's only very, very little Asians and Hispanics and blacks. Back in the days, United States democracy will work, but now it's like United States is too multicultural. It's my theory is multicultural in democracy they don't click. The reason is because they all have different ideology. They all have different mentality. They all have different religion. And democracy, it's like when you're running a democracy system, right? Everything is too by the book. Nobody uses common sense, and it's so easy to use loopholes to rip people off. A lot of tenants, they use loopholes to rip off the landlords. And white people want one thing, right? Hispanics, they want another thing. Asians, they want something else, right? And then the African Americans, they want their own style. Everybody wants different things. So how can you run a democracy in this kind of system? No, this country is too diverse, and it's just too polarized. A polarized country like United States, we cannot run on democracy. Democracy simply don't work anymore. In this kind of country, whoever has the majority will win. Okay? Like right now, it's like white people are, I don't know. I think within 20 years or 10 or 20 years, white people will no longer be the majority. So this country, if you're running a democratic system, right, the majority will win, okay? So this country is more and more... Anyway, you got the idea. Anyway, that's all I want to say for this episode. Have a nice day.